Hey everybody, welcome back. Episode Trey, aka episode 3. Back with you live here for the Arizona Birdwatchers. And this week, it's the return of the Mac. I got David Fitzgibbons back in here with me.
Back here, I am not saving any babies this week from any fires, Troy. Thank you for mentioning my heroics last week.
No, of course. That needed to be shared.
Well, I didn't think so, but, I'm just a superhero. That's what superheroes think, so...
You're so humble.
I know.
You're the most humble hero.
Just really humble.
Babies.
But I'm not saving any babies this week, so I thought I'd give it another go here on week 3 of the Arizona Birdwatchers. We have so much to talk about here tonight. At first, we have to talk about some fun facts about ourselves, and I thought no better fun facts than our first with the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah,
What was your first Arizona Cardinals football game?
My first Arizona Cardinals football game was a week 4 preseason game. I want to say it was 2011. Facebook, you can look at your shared memories,
Right.
Yeah. My shared memory, I had a picture of it the other day. So I think it was 2011. It was the year that Tebow played for the Broncos.
Oh my goodness!
And that was the game we saw. So it was week 4. So no starters played. Fitz wasn't playing. I was really disappointed. I don't even remember who the 4th string quarterback that played was.
But you got to the stadium, and the stadium must have been new by then.
By then, the stadium was 2011. It was my first time at the stadium. I was blown away. I mean, it was literally week 4 preseason, the most insignificant thing about all of NFL. And I was in ecstasy, man. I was like screaming out the window. I was going crazy. I was chugging beers.
Well, good for you. But we were in ecstasy at the preseason practice.
Training camp.
Yeah, at training camp earlier this year.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's good. Well, my very first game was before University of Phoenix Stadium. Was out at Sun Devil Stadium.
I remember my first football game ever. It was that when Chargers and Miami came and they did that free game here.
Oh, wow.
And it was at Sun Devil Stadium because of the fires in San Diego, so they had to move the Monday Night Football here.
Oh, no way. I did not know about this.
Oh, yeah. I was in 8th grade, so this was 2012 or something like that.
Oh,
or no,
wow.
no, 2008. Sorry.
Yeah.
Or no,
come on.
2005.
Yeah,
thank you. I'm aging myself.
Yeah, 4. Yeah, jeez.
And so they did the game free, and you could get free tickets. And I remember went down to the sidelines at halftime, and my dad's this crazy Chargers fan, and he was like, "Troy, yell at Marty, yell him that you suck. You're an asshole." And I was scared. I didn't do it. I was like, "No, Dad, I can't yell at him.
Dad, he can kick my butt.
Dad, I'm not gonna yell at the football player.
Dad, that's a big man."
It was before I knew anything about football, how football really worked. You know what I mean?
Wow. That is classic. I did not know there was a Monday Night Football game free against the Chargers and Dolphins.
Thank God for wildfires,
Wow, yeah, thank God for wildfires. Jesus. Oh my gosh, that is pretty good. But no fantasy.
No fantasy.
No fantasy. And Troy, I'm very curious. How did your team do this week in fantasy?
Well, my fantasy team, I won again. I am 2-0. So, despite all my friends' best efforts to say I suck at fantasy football, I am 2-0. Snaked out a win. For me, my team, I picked up Carson Palmer. He is not being started that much. I think he's at 46%. He shot up. It's funny because my first week I had him, he was at 12% starts, because NFL.com shows you the percentage people are starting him. And now it's at the end of week 2, and he's at 46% starts.
Oh, wow.
Everybody's picking him up off the waivers.
Here's that rise.
Yeah. I'm having a little bit of a problem, though. I really don't have a lot of running back depth. I got Jamal Charles, who's been solid. And then after him, I'm kind of dry. I have Shane Vereen, Benny Cunningham, Ellington. And those are my running backs. And until Ellington comes back, I'm kind of up Schitt's Creek, if you will. Up Bullshit's Creek, if you will.
Right.
How did your fantasy team do?
Well, as you know from week 1, I have gotten my football savant
Yeah.
And I'm catfishing. Well, I'm 0-2, Troy. I don't really understand how this happens. And
Your football catfish is letting you down?
it's just letting me down left, right, and center. I will tell you the positives of my team are John Brown. He got me 4 points, so it didn't really get me too much.
Yeah.
And I did get Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson got me 7 points.
Oh, okay, good. Chris Johnson has been solid.
Yeah.
He's been. I mean, the thing about Chris Johnson is we're not going to see the 2,000-yard Chris Johnson ever again.
Okay, you're right.
So he's no longer CJ 2K.
Right.
Like I'm saying, CJ 0.8K is all we're hoping for.
Hey, that's good. Yeah, that is great by us.
And in this game in the Bears, he had a good chance. He was the starter. He went in and he did exactly what a veteran should do. He ran solid. He didn't fumble the ball. He's just a perfect fill-in.
Right, and we have such depth in our offense now. We have so many options that his goal is just to be a solid option that the defense has to worry about. So then we can spread out the ball, spread out the play.
Exactly, and he's giving us all that opportunity. Like he's doing great. He didn't get that many yards in this game, but he was, like I said, he didn't drop the ball. 72 yards. So.
Right,
that's not a normal average for Arizona running backs.
Right, but in the bottom line, Troy, all fantasy football is team play, and you need team players. And I got Chris Johnson as a team player, regardless of his points and his yards. I got a good team player there. So
in fantasy. That's all you need is a team player.
Absolutely,
team players
man.
win you championships.
Yep, I got Rudy. I got Rudy as well from Notre Dame. Still on my team.
What's Rudy's last name? I can't remember.
Rudiger. Rudy.
Yeah, Rudiger's last name. Yeah,
Rudiger.
Yeah, Rudiger, yeah.
Absolutely.
Rudy!
Yeah, I think I just proved my NFL fandom there.
Beat me.
And so then my top scorer is Eli Manning, 19 points against the Falcons. My kicker, just coming in clutch because you want your kicker to be the best on your team.
You know what? The thing about kickers is I look at kickers like the same way I look at like drunk hookup girls.
Okay.
Let me go on.
I'm interested. You got me.
You don't expect too much from them. You're not looking for much in them, but when they give you a lot, oh man, it's such a good time.
I can dig that.
Okay.
I can dig that.
Did I piece that together?
All right. Well, Gostkowski, I'm coming back to him. Her.
Yeah.
Her.
Gostkowski always texts us back at 2 a.m.
Yes.
Always texts back.
Yeah, absolutely. But other than that, I'm 0-2. And I'm sad but happy to say Fitzgerald was on my opponent's team and had a monster week. So I can't really complain about losing fantasy too much.
No.
When real life is treating me so well with these Cardinals football. And, let's talk about that game because it was a fantasy from, the very start.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
I mean, let's go into the first play. And I'm not even talking about the play where the offensive line takes the field. I'm talking about the very first play of this game.
Yes, the Cardinals elected to receive the ball, and boy, oh boy, did they ever return it. David Johnson, the man, the myth, the legend, returns it for a 108-yard touchdown, actually breaking the longest return in franchise history. So he's a rookie sensation. Bruce Arians and the coaching staff has said over and over again they're trying to they don't want to put too much on him too early. They want to give him the ball in spurts. And they have given him the ball in the smallest amount of time, and he's done a ridiculous amount with it. In his first 2 games, the guy has what I'm going to call a triple R. He's got a rushing touchdown, a receiving touchdown, and a return touchdown.
And I mean, that's like a fantasy stat line.
Yes.
I mean, that is insane. And I mean, speaking of fantasy stat lines, we have to talk about the Japanese fighting fish.
Larry MF Fitzgerald, dude. This game was ridiculous.
8 receptions, 112 yards, 3 touchdowns, and that is the first time he has scored 3 touchdowns in his professional career. That's his first touchdown in 9 games. I mean, dude, Fitz still has juice.
He's got all the juice you need. I mean, holy crap, dude. I can't tell you how exciting it was to see Fitz just go in there and just do Fitz-like things. I mean, I read someone's comment the other day saying, is this 2004? I would say more 2008. Is this that ridiculous year when him and Kurt Warner almost broke, every NFL record you could?
Right.
Singles. God, I watching every single play, every time he scored, and not even every time he scored. There was one play where he got the ball and he ran like 6 more yards.
Yeah, his yards after catch were great too.
Yeah, and when he ran the 6 more yards, he literally had a cornerback hanging on his back. It looked like little giants out there,
literally dragging people.
Who's Fitz' lead blocker?
Right. his third touchdown, he earned every bit of it.
Yeah, dude, he completely did. That last touchdown was beautiful to watch. He shakes off one defender, runs into 2 more, dives one-handed into the end zone, and then he gets up and gives old Antwell Roll a hug, which was really, really nice sportsmanship to watch there.
Yeah, it was.
And, dude, I think the one thing that made everything happen, that's been making everything happen so far, is the offensive line. They have not allowed a single sack in the first 2 games out with Carson Palmer.
And Troy, you know what I love about that is on our first session we were talking about the offensive line and that we've got some changes coming here, and that's kind of the thing we're not really sure about. And we were talking about this when we went and saw training camp is, hey, we've got a lot of people, we just don't have the people we had last year, and so that's always a little frightening, a little scary. But man, it is so relieving to have an offensive line as strong as, or put on these such strong performances like we've seen.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens because Yupati could be back this week, who's going to be a stud, and he'll go back in and he'll get his spot back. But Bob Massey's coming back off suspension this week. It's going to be interesting to see because Earl Watford has earned that spot. And if I know anything about Bruce Arians, he's not just going to hand Massey that spot back. He's going to make him fight to earn it back.
You know what? But I don't mind that at all. I don't mind. This is a great problem to have, having such a competitive offensive line. And look, we've proved it here. We've got no sacks on Carson Palmer. I mean, his pocket, he had a lot of time to throw the ball.
All day, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we had over 100 rushing yards, 115 yards total with a 4.1 average.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great.
That's fantastic.
That's fantastic for our offensive line, and it's fantastic for Carson Palmer. And Carson Palmer had a fantastic game.
Stats wise, it's not a lot of yards, but he did have a good game. He makes everything work. He makes us a Super Bowl contender. He makes us number 1 in the NFC West right now.
Right, and let's look at his stat line. So he was 17 for 24, 185 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. But that interception, it was a tip.
It's Jared Allen doing Jared Allen things. Yeah. Jared Allen tipped that ball into himself. Little tip drill action there.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, I'm not too worried about that interception. No. I'm not too worried with under 200 yards passing. I think that's fine.
When you look at the score, speaks for itself. Its pocket presence was great. The thing that just blows my mind right now is that Carson Palmer's understanding of this offense it's like football artwork. Like watching him manipulate, make adjustments, doing the fine little details that makes Bruce Arians' offense flow so well. Carson Palmer has it completely under control.
Right, and I mean, look, I love tough people, and Carson's one tough dude. I mean, he was hit 6 times and got up every time, no injury, didn't have to get off the field.
Yeah, he even took a hard hit from the Bears captain Parnell McPhee.
Oh, that's right.
It was a low hit, and that was actually on the flea flicker play. He got that hit.
Right,
the flea flicker
scored a touchdown.
He scored a touchdown, and he stood up right afterwards, and that was like a butthole tightening moment. Like, it was scary when he took that hit because that's how his knee went down last time.
Right. So you're always a little bit worried when Carson gets hit, but hey, he's looking good. And he's still getting up after every play. So that is what we're hoping for.
Yes.
And speaking about tough mothers, let's talk about the defense.
Yeah, baby. Our defense, 2 sacks, 2 picks. There was 226 pass yards and 109 rush yards, which sounds like a lot. But once again, this is a game where you look at the score, not the stats and everything, and the score spoke for itself.
Right, and Tony Jefferson got that interception and pick 6,
for
which was
touchdown.
Beautiful.
Tony Jefferson was on the injured list coming into this week.
Was he really?
He was, and he scored. P. Twice had a pick as well. There's 2 interceptions for the defense, which is amazing. Yeah, and seeing Patrick Peterson get that for his first interception of the year made me happy.
Man, just a great game all around.
Oh, yeah. And that series, too, where Patrick Peterson had the interception was beautiful because the next series was the flea flicker to Larry Fitzgerald.
Look, this was a game that gets you really excited for the rest of the season.
Yeah. It's exciting football.
Absolutely. Look,
that's what it is. It's exciting. It's the kind of football that you want to go and watch because it's high scoring, solid hits. It's just fun all around.
Do you think Bruce Arians put the flea flicker in there just to sell some seats?
Oh, my God, yeah. Bruce Arians puts the flea flicker in there so people be like, Arians, it's kind of funny that you kept running pass plays when your team was up so much. Yeah. I don't know which interviewer we have from New York.
Yeah, you got a Boston guy doing a Chicago interview, Troy. I'm very impressed. What's his backstory? He's got to have a good backstory.
He's a mafioso.
Oh, okay.
But he didn't want to get all the way out of the mob, but everybody knows that the Chicago mob is way wussier than the Boston mob.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. All right, and then now we have to talk about this division game coming up on Sunday against the 49ers.
Yes.
And how are we looking against them? What are your thoughts?
Well, 49ers are always a tough match for us. I think when it comes to division games, regardless of how that team is to the rest of the NFL, something about being in that same division makes it more competitive every time.
Right. It is the most competitive division in the league.
Yeah.
But by a long shot. It is. It's going to be a great game. I mean, the 49ers are 1-1. They had a tough loss against the Steelers over the weekend.
I would say like a return to earth loss.
Right. A humbling loss.
Because it was so funny to me after their first game, everybody's like, all the doubters, all the haters out there, we told them we were still good.
Right, undefeated. And
then they come to Pittsburgh and they lose 43-18.
Guys, it's really cold here in September.
But as much as I really dislike this quarterback, Colin Kaepernick did what he could. He was, 335 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Wow. Yeah, great game.
Great game. Those are great. Those are solid stats. He was sacked 5 times.
So at the end of the day, I mean, good luck against our defense.
Yes, our defense is going to play them strong. The thing about going against Pittsburgh is they win against another solid defensive line, and they're going to come against us and they're going to play another aggressive, physical defensive line. But they're going to be playing us at home. And I told you in the first game, and I told you again right now, our at-home advantage is very underrated, but Cardinals fans get fired up for games against San Francisco.
Absolutely.
Oh, man, we get fired up for San Francisco.
Yeah, this is maybe our biggest rival.
Yeah, I would say Seattle is our biggest rival in, winning the division.
Right.
But there's
competitive.
Yeah. But there's some special hatred for San Francisco.
Yes.
It's so sweet when we beat them.
Right. Absolutely. I hate them 49ers. And so what do you think? What are your score predictions?
My score prediction for this game, I'm going to say we've been scoring pretty high. I'm going to say Arizona 31, San Francisco 28.
Yeah, I think we've been putting up big numbers. Kaepernick is a good quarterback. They've got a good offense in San Francisco. I can't deny that.
No joke either, man.
Yeah. No. They've got good offensive options, but against this defense, I don't think they score more than 20. I'm gonna say 35-17.
Be a great score.
That's my goal.
We got our next game. Our next game's here at the Toaster. It's going to be starting at 1:05 p.m. And for all you guys watching at home, the best way to watch, that is going to be on Fox.
Without your pants.
So that's the only way to watch a game.
That's my ritual, Troy.
Speaking of rituals, I wanted to ask, what are you guys out there? Let us know. What are some of your game time rituals? My friends and I, we get together for every Cardinals game. We get pretty nuts, get pretty wild, get a couple of Dos Equis, Coronas in us, finding our beach. But the only real ritual I'd say we have is halftime we go out and we throw the pigskin around. We get the ball get thrown around a lot.
Hey, that's a beautiful traditional ritual.
I think that's great. You know what I mean? And honestly, because we're old men, it kind of gets our juices going. For this, it keeps us to stay awake.
Yeah, it keeps that fourth beer not from coming on. Well, if you have a ritual, we want to know about it. Tweet us your special rituals that you do before the game, during the game, after the win. My Twitter handle is DavidFitz4.
And I am TDRow1.
TDRow1. Find us on Twitter.
And if you like, you can just leave a comment on the YouTube video here.
Yes.
That works just as well.
Yeah, we stalk ourselves just as much as you do. So
yeah. Somebody just yell at us, so at least we know that we're pissing someone off.
Absolutely. We love to piss people off, so let us know if we do it or not.
All right. See you guys next week.
Yes, and good luck to the Cardinals this weekend, this Sunday. 105 on Fox. It's going to be a good one. We'll see you next week.
Bye.